I'm Jeremy Lieboff. I'm one of the partners at Sobell Rhodes. Thank you for joining me for another in our series of essential guides from the Sobell Rhodes playbook. This latest video relates to the HMRC update of yesterday, which was the 16th of April, in relation to the job retention scheme. And it's brought to you and to our clients and to our contacts with the aim of helping them navigate the current coronavirus crisis. The video is correct as at today's date, which is the 17th of April, and it supersedes our previous update of the 12th of April 2020, which has now been deleted from YouTube. Just before we get into it, just to let you know, I'm going to try and cover things in a fairly rapid pace. There's an awful lot of detail surrounding the job retention scheme, and so it's very easy to get bogged down. If you need to find out more or speak to us or anything else like that, please feel free to do so. But the idea of this video is to keep it short, sharp, and snappy. So without any further ado, the first thing you need to know is that since our first video on the job retention scheme, which was on the 6th of April, more information has been released as to how the mechanism is going to work for claiming these updates. We covered much of it on the 12th of April update, which, as I say, is now being deleted, and this supersedes that second video. For base level information as to the scheme, you would probably be best served just going back to seeing our 6th of April video, which is available through YouTube, and there's going to be a little bit of yes, probably this way, a little icon that's going to come up, and you can just click on that to be able to watch that at any time. Moving onwards, what you need to know is that HMRC have now confirmed an online claim service system is going live on the 20th of April 2020, which is this coming Monday, if you're watching it on the 17th or the 18th or the 19th, it's just happened. If it's any other date, I suppose. And they've also confirmed that once claims are put through, they're going to be looking to pay in 6 days, which is good news. So hopefully that means that people will be getting their money by the end of the month. That's 6 working days, I should clarify. So it's worth knowing. So there's a couple of things that have been clarified aside from this in the latest update. Essentially, we've got a situation whereby the criteria for eligibility for employees has been extended. It was those employees who were on a payroll at the 28th of February or before. Now it's the 19th of March, which is the day before the job retention scheme was announced. What this means is if you had somebody who was on a payroll and had been submitted on an RTI return on or before the 19th of March, then they will be eligible as well. If you've got people who were on payroll at the 28th of February and then made redundant or between then and the 19th of March, or they had to leave between then and 19th of March, they can be re-employed and furloughed. So there's actually quite a broad range of people that are covered there. But be warned, because the RTI submission had to be made before the 19th of March, that means that probably, unless people were put onto an RTI submission as they were taken on, that means that only weekly or people who maybe run their payroll halfway through the month will be covered. Those people who ran their payroll at the end of March without having their employee on beforehand will not be covered. It's the 28th of April that's more likely to be relevant to them. Anyway, I've rattled on enough about that. So if you have got employees who have been furloughed, you now have 2 choices. They are to make a claim yourself, and secondly, to engage your PAYE agent to make the claim for you. Sobell Rhodes acts for the PAYE agent for a majority of our PAYE registered clients, but please do not confuse this with people who are only PAYE file only agents. These people But these agents are able to make the RTI submissions, but they may not, or they shouldn't be in a position to deal with HMRC on your behalf. So you need to clarify that, because it may well be that if that's the case, they won't be able to do your job retention scheme claim either. So the next thing is a little bit of clarification that's been provided in relation to company directors and furloughing of company directors. Unfortunately, Treasury guidance is not the most helpful thing. So if I just have a quick look, basically basically what they're saying is that if you are covering work that is related to being a director, and the wording they've used, if you see it on the screen, is provision of other information relating to the administration of the director's company, these can be disregarded in relation to the clause that says you can't do any work. So what does this mean in reality? Well, it's not 100% clear, if I'm totally honest with you, but what we understand it is that if you've got a situation whereby somebody is working within their own business and they are doing active marketing, active work, providing services, going out and chasing revenue, that will not be furlough activity, and you cannot have a furlough director under those circumstances. What we definitely do know is if they are simply doing their directorial duty, so submitting accounts, dealing with issues that arise in terms of annual return or confirmation statement at the company's house, that's absolutely fine. There's going to be some grey area in between that we're not in a position to necessarily say exactly where it falls. So there's an area which is going to be towards administration only, which is probably covered by the furlough legislation. But any kind of more involvement of that is going to mean, no, that's not someone you can furlough, or more specifically, that's not a director you can furlough. And this is going to be an area that evolves. And I would say definitely if you feel that you're falling in that scheme, it's worth having a conversation. So I hope that's useful, as useful as it can be with any government legislation, I suppose. So what you need to bear in mind, whoever will be submitting the claim, HMRC will now have provided the information that you're going to need for that to be possible. So I've got a whole lot of stuff that's coming up onto the screen right now. I'm not going to read through it. You can come back and watch this as many times as you want to be able to have a look at it. But the key one here, which has just come up a little bit before, is self-employed UTR, company UTR, or company registration number. So what we mean by that is that if you're a sole trader with a PAYE scheme, you're going to need your sole trader UTR number. Similarly, if there's a partnership with a PAYE scheme, you're going to need to have the partnership UTR number, probably also some of the partners as well. If it's a company, you're going to need a company UTR number and also your company's house registration number. So that's why it's kind of a list of things for that particular point. So you need to have all of those ready if you're going to make the claim. Once you are ready to make the claim, it's worth knowing the following functional details. If you have got fewer than 100 employees who are being furloughed, they will need to be entered one by one on the online portal system. That information will need to be entered directly for each individual employee for whom you are making a furlough claim. If you have got 100 or more furloughed staff, then you're in a position whereby there will be an upload that can be used, and that comes in a number of different formats. I've got them on the screen right now, but they're essentially spreadsheet, CSV, and ODS type files. So that's going to be the way that's going to be processed in that respect. When it comes to the claim calculation, as with a lot of other HMRC matters, the taxpayer, in this particular case, the PAYE scheme people, and that's going to be yourselves, are ultimately responsible for what goes into that claim and the numbers that are included in it. HMRC retain the right to retrospectively audit all aspects of the claim. So much like a personal tax return or a corporation tax return, we put the numbers together, you put the numbers together, it gets submitted, and then at a later stage, HMRC may come back and ask questions, so be aware of that. Full PAYE agents are in a position whereby they can make the claim online on behalf of their client's behalf or on behalf of employers for whom they are nominated as agents. Sobell Rhodes, we've got a dedicated team in our tax department who are ready to provide this service for all of our clients who want us to undertake it for them. At this time, it's not known exactly what PAYE agents can and can't do, but what we're doing at Sobell Rhodes is making sure that we have got the broadest range of scope covered, so that whatever it is that HMRC allow us to do, we'll be able to fit in with that, so that our clients can rest easy when it comes to making their claims for them. So if you would like support from Sobell Rhodes, first of all, it's our tax department. We've got a dedicated team who are going to be able to help prepare these claims for you. Call our offices and ask for our tax director, Tim Knight, or for the tax department in general on our usual telephone number, which is on the screen and is 0208 429 8800. Alternatively, we have a dedicated email address, especially for these matters. But we do ask that you do not necessarily contact the payroll department. They are busy making sure people get paid. and then we've got in our tax department making sure that we can get the claims put through to them. So the the payroll department are doing one thing and the tax department are doing the other. They're both working closely together, but that's the way that it's working for efficiency and to make sure that it's as slick as possible for all of our clients. So if you're going to make the claim yourself, totally doable. Many companies do their own payrolls. Many employers process their own RTI submissions. There's no reason at all why those who are doing that already in-house can't go ahead and do their own job retention scheme claims. Only thing you need to know is that at the moment, we don't necessarily know what exactly the portal is going to be looking like, feeling like in terms of usability. So once we know, we will try and make sure we share that information on other video updates at a later stage. If you want to be kept up to date with this, all you need to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel. Specifically, we've got a playlist in there for coronavirus updates, and that way you'll be get sent all of our short, sharp videos as soon as they are made available to you. Also, if you're looking for anything that's going to be in more detail, more in depth, you need to pick brains of other people that that are in similar boats to you, and also some of our panels of experts. Please feel free to join us for our live Q&A sessions. These will be available to anybody who wishes to subscribe to them, and we send those invitations out as and when they are arranged. So hopefully they'll be useful to you. Finally, just be aware that at Sobell Rhodes, we're trying to make sure that we're making things as helpful as possible for all of the people that we're working with. Please feel free to subscribe, to like, to share, to throw questions at us, whatever it is that works for you, because above all, we want to make sure that as many people as possible come through this particular time in as mentally, emotionally, and financially as intact as possible, and anything we can do to help is all to the better. But in the meanwhile, thank you very much. Stay safe.